Am I supposed to be looking at you? Am I looking at you, cameraman? Who am I looking at? That camera? Okay. We got all these cameras. I don't know who to look at. Who's in charge of this? Send somebody up here and say, what camera are you supposed to look at? Okay, you guys are supposed to ask questions. Start asking. I think everyone's excited about the season. It's football season, regardless of what team you support or what school you go to. We know that football's upon us in August. Starts reporting to training camp for the National Football League. Most colleges report in August, and that's the tradition we have in America. You realize that football season is about to start, and I think everyone's excited about it.
Which should Arizona State want?
Well, philosophy is real simple, is that we all have to honor the game on how we play it and how we coach it. We all stand on others' shoulders. No player, no coach is bigger than the game of football. And football is a vehicle. It's a vehicle for people to have a platform. And use your platform correctly in a positive way. Make sure when you say things and you do things, it's for the betterment of the game. We're all keepers of this great game called football. You folks stand before us right now in the fact that you're in the media. You get to cover this game. You make a living covering sports. And we have to realize as coaches and athletes, we have to make sure that we play it right, we coach it right, give you information so you can write stories on the game. You know, the game of football is about moments and memories. And those are the things that you pass on to the people that follow you.
Coach, was there one thing that led you from the broadcast booth back to football, on the sidelines?
Well, you know, for me, it needed to be the right fit. I had an inkling I was going to go back. I had opportunities before, never mentioned them. It needed to be the right place. You know, in life, I think that I live by this motto. To have a successful life, the first thing you have to realize is what is your purpose in life? And then from there, be committed to reaching your full potential at that purpose. And then once you find it, help others succeed. Well, if you think about football, you're able to do that. You're really able to do that as a coach. I've never had a job. I've always been involved in football. Playing football, coaching football, talk about football. That's what I've done. That's what I do. It's not like it's something new to me. And I think sometimes when you step away from it, people think, well, he's out of football. Out of football maybe on the sideline, but mentally, you're never out of football. It's like being a football fan. At what age do you stop watching it? You don't. You watch football as a young kid, it becomes what you like, and you watch it. And you teach your kids the game, right? And that's what you do. I mean, so when you step away from it, it's not like, well, he's out of football. He's not a coaching. He's out on the grass, all right? But you're still learning football. You're watching football. That's what you do.
Why is Arizona State a good fit for you?
A couple reasons. One was the people that are above me that make decisions. Starts with the president, Dr. Crow. My relationship with Ray Anderson is well known. I never knew 20 years ago that he would be an AD. He never knew 20 years ago I'd be working on television. Arizona State was one of my top 2 schools when I was getting recruited to figure out where I was going to go. Frank Cush recruited me. I tell people all the time, one of the reasons I didn't go is because they couldn't play in the Rose Bowl. So I went to Cat. So it's kind of a complete circle for me.
Have you been amused by some of the reactions to your hiring?
To be quite honest, you'll figure this out about me. I don't know what happens on the outside world. And I'm not saying that to belittle what you guys do. I was in your world. I was in people's homes every night, every morning. I don't read it. I don't watch it. I am a football coach. And when I'm not a football coach, I'm trying to be the best father I can be. That's what I concern myself with. I don't concern myself with the outside elements because the outside elements don't coach the team. I've got to coach coaches and players. That's my obligation, and I stay focused on that. Yeah. He has a special quality in one you need in anything in life that you do. He competes. And you have to compete at whatever you do in life. Whether you're a media person, whether you're a television personality, you have to compete every day. And when he walks on the field, whether it's in practice, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's whatever it may be, he competes. I saw that when I coached him in the Under Armour game, to be quite honest, in practice every day. I watched him and I said, this guy's going to be a good player. And obviously, now that I've been around him even more, we've got a relationship. And that's what football is about as well. It's about relationships with players and coaches. I always go back to my head high school football coach. I still talk to him today. I still talk to Dick Vermeil. I mean, it's the relationships that you have with coaches that give you words of advice when things sometimes are tough. You know, that's what this game's all about. But he's a special player. He really is, and he's going to have a career at this. And there's no doubt he's going to play at the next level. It's just a matter of when he decides to go, but he's going to play at the next level. He has that talent. Yeah. Oh, will we? Somebody's got to be first. Somebody's got to be sixth. Okay, it's great. It doesn't matter to me. We don't go by polls. I mean, we got our own aspirations. I told you when I took the job, and you guys know it, you guys were at the press conference, we're trying to win the Pac-12 championship. So whatever people write it, they can write what they want. That's good. We don't. Hopefully, no players are listening to that, because no coaches are listening to it. So we got to play. We ain't played the game yet. You know? And it's hard because I get it. I was on this side of it. I can remember going in the studio and say, Coach, you got to rank the divisions. I said, well, I got to rank every division. Yeah, you got to rank the divisions. I'm going, really? And I studied it. I mean, I actually, played football, real football, and played in some of those divisions and coached some of these players and did it. And I was sitting in there and go, I got to rank all these divisions, really? And I'm like, how do you do that? This is hard. So when your editor or somebody says, hey, you got to rank the divisions, you got to put somebody first, somebody's got to be last, somebody's got to be second. I get it. I don't take it personal. You do what you do. And at the end of the year, if you're right, you'll feel good. And if you're wrong, you don't have to worry about it. Because then you can say, oh, you beat the polls. I ain't worry about that stuff. Hey, just play, man. Just.
Was it motivational as a player, though, if you were overlooked or finished last?
I would hope that if you need someone else to motivate you, that's not good. You know, I learned this a long time ago on how I grew up. You got to be able to bet on yourself. You don't let other people set your expectations. Don't fall into that trap. I tell the players that all the time. I've been good enough in my lifetime to bet on me because I know the work I'm going to put in and what it takes. And if it doesn't turn out that way, I can live with that. But I'm going to bet on me because that's all you can bet on. You can't bet on anybody else. I just got to bet on me. And I've done that my whole life. And I sit here today and go, betting on me's kind of worked out okay. And I'm going to continue to do that. And I hope my players understand that they got to bet on themselves as well. You can't worry about what people say, and that's the world we live in. And you don't get caught up in that. You don't let people set your expectations. I mean, some of you folks stand here today. Probably someone told you you wouldn't be standing here today. Are you kidding me? And you overcame all that. So you don't worry about that stuff. You only can live your life. You can't let people put expectations on you. You know, when you live in a world like that, that's scary. Because this is America. And you can dream big. And you can accomplish things if you're willing to put in the work. And that's what you do. That's what's so great about football. It's a fun deal because there's a journey that every team takes. We all take the same journey. And at the end, you figure out where you end up.
When you look back at spring practice, what aspect excites you the most going into fall camp? And what aspect?
Offensively, I mean, we're going to be driven by our offense. A lot of there's a veteran presence over there. I mean, obviously you have a quarterback like Manny Wilkins, you have a receiver like, you know, Akil, and you've got some offensive linemen with some veteran presence. I think we've brought in a good core of running backs. And so, you know, they get it. They know how to play over there. Defensively, I think we progressed. We have to continue to progress. With that being said, it's a new system for players to learn. So our offense will have to carry us some. But I think defensively, as we continue to play during the season, we'll get better. You know, and that's how it works.
What's the type of student that you're looking for, you're looking to recruit, or a student athlete, I should say, that you're looking to recruit?
You know, I'm real big on, I mean, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it. Because I'm at the point in my life that I really do. Huh? I hope they are listening. I don't say stuff where I worry about people listening or not. I just tell the truth, okay? Obviously, you haven't spoken to me before. So this might be reference to you, too, because you're holding that mic. There's two types of people in this world. There's the people that are interested, and there's people that are committed. I want committed players that want to be the best student athlete that they can be, along with playing the game of football. That's the kind of person I want, okay? Is that okay for you? Good enough answer? Okay, all right, just making sure.
What's been the most striking thing about the recruiting process that you've experienced in the first few months, you know, being in the world? You obviously, when you had the chance to coach those showcase games, those were a little bit of an introduction, but what's it been like in the full field?
70% of your day, a lot of the times, is spent on recruiting. It's a year-round process. I never would have imagined, and I've been in college football before, I've been recruited as a college athlete, that the degree of the recruiting now, where it's gone. You're talking about 2020 kids. We already are looking at 2020 kids. Now, you know, I'm going, really? 2020? How do you make a decision on a 2020 kid? But when you watch tape and you evaluate and you think 2 years from now he's going to be this, hopefully he's going to be that kind of player. If I get him as a coach, how can I help him? All those things. So that's been interesting. It's been fun.
And given your NFL background, preparing players for the NFL, does that give you a leg up, you know, when you're talking to some of these kids?
I think it helps you in this sense when you say, when you basically make a statement that we got a pro program. There's a lot of coaches that have pro programs. They just don't say it. We actually said it. But I think more than anything else, and I say this humbly, when you've been in the National Football League for 30 years, if I'm talking to a player, I got a feeling he's going to listen. I just got that funny feeling for some reason. He would probably go, I think Coach might know what he's talking about on this one. I don't know what I'm talking about a whole lot. My box in my world is real simple. It's kind of real small. I don't get outside my lane. I just get in my box. I think I know a little bit about the game of football. Not a lot, just a little, but enough to warrant if I speak, they're going to listen. Yeah. I hope, anyway. See?
When it comes to unfortunate instances like Tyler Helinski at Washington State last year, preventing certain things from happening, your added benefit of all the history you have in the NFL and playing football and coaching football and being around the sport, what can be done differently, or what's your take on that, given that now you're in college, you should be in the NFL?
It's always about gathering information from events that have taken place, and when they're tragic like that, more information is required. I think the safety of players in general is on the uptake. It's advanced as far as, look, I became a professional in 1977. The advancement of safety in football, period, from 1977 to right now, it's just unimaginable how far it's come, and it'll continue to grow. And I think with coaches being more aware, with the physicians being more aware, with players themselves being more aware that I don't have to act like I'm a tough guy all the time. If something is ailing me, I actually can say something's wrong and I'm okay. And I just think the more we make players aware, the safety of the game is critical. because it's about the game, it's about the protection of the players, and I think it has really taken from the 70s to right now, the era that I played in, it has advanced and has helped the game tremendously. Yeah.
They don't require that in college football, but it's something that's been discussed.
Yeah.
With your experience having dealt with that, is it a hindrance to a coach, or how would you feel? Do you like this better that you don't have to disclose boundaries, or how do you feel?
I think as a former player, you like to look at the injury report of your opponent. Because if a guy had a sore shoulder and he was going to play, guess what? You're going to ask him, is his shoulder hurt? No, you're going to hit him on the shoulder, right? So I think as good as we want to be forthright with letting know people's injuries, you kind of put the player in a bad position if he's going to play, right? I mean, so if we're trying to protect the players on one side of it, if he doesn't play, that's one thing, but what if he does? Look at it that way. Because me being an opponent, when I played corner, I looked on that list. I was in there Tuesday. Who's on the list? Man, Falcons. We play. Who we got? Oh, really? And that's what you do. That's just human nature, right? So I would just be careful and I know the other reason, and I'm not even going to get into the other reason. Stay away from that one. It's not for me to comment. You guys can figure that one out. My biggest concern, I think, is getting the guys that are just come in, the new players, the tempo of practice. They haven't felt that yet. You can already tell they don't understand the tempo of just running with those guys and lifting. It was kind of shocking, because they all say, when you're talking to them, yeah, coach, I've been running, I've been lifting, and I'm kind of chuckling. I said, yeah, it's just like a rookie coming in, as a rookie coming into the NFL. Yeah, I've been working it, and then all of a sudden the first day you go, oh, they're a little bit different. And so I just think, getting those guys through the first couple days, as you guys know, and you guys are local, we're not going to have the ability to go to Camp T up to Camp Cush. And so with that being said, I don't know if you guys know yet, might as well know, I'll tell you right now, we're going to practice tonight. But we are going to go to Camp Cush. We're going to travel up there on a Wednesday. We're going to go through the ceremonies of going up there and pay tribute to one of the greatest college football coaches ever coached, and Frank Cush. And we're going to take the team up there, and we're going to do a little something that Wednesday. So we're going to make sure these young guys understand the history and the legacy of going up there. I think that's important. So we're still going to do that. But we're going to practice tonight. So see. Just for the day. Yeah. We'll go up for a day and maybe have a walkthrough, have a little meeting or something, have them walk the hill, do the deal. I think it's good. We want to keep that alive. Yes.
Does that help him accelerate what you guys are trying to do at all?
Well, I think what helps him as well is that he's been able to adjust, but also Rob Likens keeping a lot of the offense in order. And that's why, to be quite honest, when I took the job, I knew Billy was eventually going to get an offer to be a head coach. We discussed that. I kind of go back with Coach Likens when he was at Cal. It's kind of ironic, as I played up in the American Century in the golf tournament and played with Jared, golf. And so about the fourth hole, we get Likens on the phone. What are you doing? I said, we're playing golf. And so it was me and Jared, and we were talking about Coach Likens, and he was asking, Coach, why did you hire him? I said, well, I've watched him from afar, and I thought for Manny's sake and for the offense's sake, now we'll do some things a little bit different, but for the most part, it's Manny's offense. And it should be. And he's worthy of that. He's been the quarterback. So you didn't want to disrupt that. So I think that was important. And I was fortunate enough that he would take the job. Continually growing. And, a lot of these guys on the committee have never been asked to do that. And I think it's good for them because they got to do that. They got to get out of their comfort zone. Most young people in today's world, they want to be liked. It's almost like on that phone. They want their likes. You want to be respected. And sometimes you got to fight across stream to be respected. So I think they're learning that, and they've done a pretty good job.
Coach,
Yes, as far as I know, as of today, it's a good group. We're excited about, as we talked about in the spring, we're going to get some more guys to compete. A couple of them right away when they were running with the guys, they kind of stood out. And a couple of the guys that were already on the team said, "Coach, who are those guys?" I said, kind of like those guys, huh? They said, "They look a little different, Coach." I said, "Well, that's kind of what we're trying to do, get some different guys in here." So they caught the attention of a couple of them's eyes already. Yeah, I ain't going to mention them. I won't mention their names.
Coach, what did you know about the Pac-12 when you took the job, and what have you learned just in studying over the summer?
Well, I knew a lot about it. Look, I'm a West Coast guy. I mean, I'm always I played in the Pac-8, so I mean, this is who I am. I'm a West Coast guy. I followed the Pac-12 when I was young. It was a Pac-8. I played in it. Very competitive in this sense, and I said it. Stanford in the last 6 years won the conference 4 times. They've been very consistent. When you look at the overall view of the South and the North, Stanford and SC in the last 3 years have won 21 games. Washington State 19. I believe Utah has won 14. We've won 12 conference play. And so that kind of shows you where it's at. There's a couple of teams that have 21 and 19 are pretty good, in 3 years. And so you want to aspire to be one of those teams. So, how do you do that? And so I think that's kind of a little bit of the vision that when I look at those teams, because when you've been in football your whole life, you study your conference. You study the division you're in. Well, I studied the conference, and you go, what makes this conference? Big athletic people, right? Throw the ball around a lot, right? Okay, a lot of good quarterbacks. You're talking, 30-plus players got drafted out of this conference. So there's talent, and I understand the talent. I live on the West Coast. I know where all these kids are going. And you say to yourself, okay, how do you build your team in that image to be competitive consistently in the Pac-12? And I think that's the work we have. That's work in progress, but I think we've done a nice job of starting it. We have a good group of players that have played in the conference. They know how to win in the conference, so that's exciting. But you play at night some, and you don't get the recognition you like on the East Coast because people are going to bed. I get that part, but if you want to watch skilled athletes at all positions, the Pac-12 kind of brings that. When it does, it really, really does. So that's exciting for me to be a part of it.
All right, you got about 2 minutes left with Arizona State.
As a former cornerback, I mean, you like what you saw from Chase Lucas and Kobe Williams in the spring?
I do, and we got a couple other young ones that are starting to develop. And and we will stress the corners in our system. They're going to get stressed because I just think the way college football is played now, there's a couple things you have to realize. You're not going to stop people from gaining yards. It's impossible. And I say that when I went to Alabama and I watched some of these great defenses with 6 and 7 NFL players. They don't stop people. How they stop them is real simple. They get them in bad downs. They play really good in the red zone. You take the ball away. You make them one-dimensional. Even though we're spread offenses and all that, you cannot allow people to run the football on you. I just see you can't do that. And then the one that always holds up in defense is you got to knock quarterback down. I mean a lot. You got to hit him. You got to hit the guy. You got to storm the castle and you got to hit the guy. You got to knock him down. And when you knock him down, game changes. And so you got to be able to do that. And I think if we can do that enough, then you got a chance. Oh. You got that right. I haven't talked to Claude in quite some time, and Claude was my coach at San Diego State. He took over when Coryell left and offered me my first job at San Jose State. He gave me my first coaching job, and I'm indebted to that man. a great football coach. I mean, learned a lot from him. And Dick, you know, look, Dick's like my second dad. My father died my first year in the league, and Dick became kind of like my dad. I've known the man since I was 17 years old. He still calls me. Once a month, it's Coach. And I call him Coach. Coach, how you doing? I'm doing good, Coach. And we have a nice little conversation, and he's one of the best. I mean, he is a great human being. He was a fabulous football coach, you know, and it's kind of ironic. He sat out a little longer than I did and came back, and I can remember I was calling him on the phone when I was coaching and said, Coach, you got to go back. You got to go back. You know, he goes back. And when I came back, it's one of the first calls I get, right? Oh, I'm glad you're going back. You got to go back. He was all excited, you know. So he's my guy. Coach Vermeil's my guy.